Good evening. Happy almost Halloween. All Hallows Eve. Sanheim. Believe that's how you say it. Sanheim. Heim. With an M. Today, in class, we will be discussing candle magic and how it's useful. So, let's get into it, right? This is the Astral Academy. I am your Magus, the Silent. And what are the basics of candle magic that people need to know, right? So, candle magic is one of the oldest forms of magic casting in probably the history of magic itself, as well as I like to call it botany magic, where you use herbs associated with specific things that you require to manifest, or that you want to manifest. So the reason candle magic is significant is because it works. If it works, you should use it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should do, but it's my recommendation. So the basics of candle magic: there are different color candles which have certain intentions attached to them. Now, keeping this in mind, if your intention is strong enough, you can build energy into a candle to manifest a certain thing, right? And it's very important to watch the candle flame, as well as if you cannot let your candle burn, to put it out properly. I've noted a couple of consistencies with different bits of information stating that blowing out your candle is the equivalent of blowing away your manifestation. So it's good to keep that in mind. Now, this is in terms of protection, right? Like I had stated, if your intention is strong enough, you can use whatever candle suits the situation, whatever color, right? You can put sigils on these candles that you create yourself and empower them, right? Or back to herbs, you can use oils, salves, and herbs to attract what you want to manifest quicker. So, also keep in mind, plant-based candles are more environmentally friendly than regular wax candles. Now, candles, let's see here. Candles can or do represent the four elements. The melting candle represents water, the hard candle represents earth, and then you have the flame, of course, which is fire, and then the air that it uses to stay alive. So that's pretty much the basics. This kind of magic, now I don't use candle magic a lot, only when it's necessary, but I know people who do use this kind of magic, and it seems to be quite effective for them, in which I tend to ask them their experience, because sometimes experience is what you need to know in terms of information, just to know that something is possible, right? Because the information you'll find online is very, can be diverse, some contradictory, right? But if you find something that works for you, then I would recommend to continue using that specific way of doing the magic. Not saying any one way is different than the other. as an example, sometimes you want an angel to heal you, and you do the magic, make the request, the angel doesn't respond to the request, so you go to a different angel of healing, right? Or you go to a god or goddess of healing, right? And perhaps they'll answer your request instead. So you would continue to go to where you get the best results, right? So, and it also comes down to how you're doing the magic. If you mess it up, you know, you have to be or it would be my recommendation that self-awareness is incorporated into your magical practice, as well as keeping a diary or a journal of your magical experiences. So that way you can see the progress that you've made, and your faith doesn't dwindle as much. Because I know of some practitioners who hit walls with magic, and they let their doubt poison their mind to a degree in which they stop practicing, and instead of thinking of it as an obstacle to overcome, they let the obstacle overcome them, and they stop believing in the wonders of magic. Now, there are we all fail until we succeed. That is the very essence of success. You just gotta keep pushing. That's all. You just gotta keep moving along, trying to untangle the web of magical information, making some practical use out of it. And then we have master practitioners who we should not feel intimidated by. It's never too late to start the journey. It may lead on to your next life if you believe in that kind of stuff, right? And magic is not evil. Magic is not stereotypically unhealthy or morally wrong to practice. And although some people who are coming into the video thinking that they used to be a devout Christian or Catholic, which I respect, I could never find a level of devotion for that kind of practice. But if you're coming into the witchcraft field, then it may be hard to get certain patterns out of your mind, or that voice in the back of your head that what you're doing is evil or wrong, right? And the best way to battle those thoughts and patterns in your mind is with self-love. And what I mean by that, instead of cramming love in your body in a magical sense, then it would be best to practice, like I had stated earlier, self-awareness to the extent that you're aware of the pattern of thinking, you validate, you accept, even forgive if need be, and you move forward. Practice makes perfect, they say, because with each stroke of a painter's brush, they get better eventually at creating the things that they want to put on their canvas. It's the same thing with magic. It's a muscle. All you gotta do is practice. So, basically, you can figure out which herbs work best for your candle magic, which salves and oils, tinctures. There's like dragon's blood for ink. If you want to do sigils, you can make sigils with pins, anything really sharp. And I also issue caution when playing with fire. We don't want to burn our house down, right? So if you are not in a safe setting to do it, please don't do it. If you are in a place with lots of paper, perhaps putting the candle on a plate with water on it might be helpful. I feel like I gotta Sneeze. Okay. One it is, huh? Anyways. Safe magical practices and physical practices are vitally important when working with any kind of element in any kind of setting, especially when it comes to jinn or genie. Some of the fire spirits or elementals like when people use candles, so just be careful and bear in mind your setting. If you're going to be interrupted, if there's children around, a dog or a cat who's going to jump over the flame, maybe put them somewhere else where you will be undisturbed for the duration of your spell casting. So I believe that's it. Like I had stated earlier, you can look up herbs in their relation to what you want to manifest, and then you can combine certain things. And I've read that when you combine certain things and you find a system that works for you with candle magic, it'll make a lot more sense and it'll click in your mind. And then there's also building up energy in a candle before trying to manifest it. So, and that can be done in a multitude of ways, just charging a sigil on the candle or just putting your emotional energy into the candle as well. There are shops that you can go to get candles for the specific reason. Just make sure if you're getting yours with spells that are already cast into them, then you go to the proper apothecary or botanist or wherever it is, metaphysical shop, somewhere that you trust. So, I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah. So I'm still learning a lot about this. So as I continue to make videos in each chapters in each one, I will continue on to next create a whole nother year's worth of videos for specific things about certain entities, how they've helped me, and then another year about experience, and maybe we'll do something about your guys' experiences with magic, because I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about situations, because I've had some unbelievable experiences with magic, and that is why I continue to practice, because if I stopped practicing when I failed, I wouldn't have had those experiences to push me on to where I am now. So, in conclusion, be safe on Halloween, please. I mean, you can do whatever you like. I love watching people thrive, so if you could be safe, there are people who care about you, and if not, I care about you. Magic truly was a way out for me. So, trust in the path. And yourself. Happy Halloween, guys, gals, humans, anything in between. And I will see you next week, and I will be making a video about magical attack and the basics of what that would concern when dealing with protection magic. Alright? Alright, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week. Bye!